are talking all things beauty. And it's a beautiful relationship between two lovely women that have started an incredible business right here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and it's all about eye candy. So I want to welcome right now Lori and Kim to Hue at Home. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me today. Oh, I see you, Kim. How you doing, Kim? And Lori?
Thank you so much for having us. We're excited.
Oh, yes. Okay, so I'm going to start with you, Lori, because I
Okay.
think the eye candy story may start with you. So, how did this whole business of lashes, and now it's extended to far more than just lashes, all begin?
Well, I started my aesthetics career in 2001 and learned about lash extensions in 2006. And I just thought to myself, how amazing would that be to be able to have these beautiful lashes? And, strip lashes is always, it's been around for a long time, but just to have them and wake up with, enhancing your lashes was so interesting to me. So I flew back home to Vancouver to learn how and brought that artistry over here to Winnipeg and over to my clientele. And honestly, it grew from there. I didn't think it was going to grow as it did, and I'm super excited of how it's evolved from the time of 2006 all the way over here in 2020. It's definitely evolved.
And it really hasn't been that long of a time, but it seems like the advancement in the type of lashes, and we're going to talk too about the styling because it's just not putting on lashes on everybody's eyes because everybody's eyes and faces are different. So Kim, I guess now let's talk about the relationship and how you and Lori got together.
So, when I moved back from Vancouver here, I had opened Soul Beauty, which is still actually running right now. I had opened that salon, and Lori and I connected through a few mutual friends, and we worked together in that salon. And I knew Lori was destined for bigger things. So I knew she wasn't going to stay with me forever. And when she left me, that's when she opened Eye Candy and created Eye Candy in the beginning. So Lori had been already lashing when I met her for a while and actually learned so many different techniques and product stuff from her. So a lot of my education and my knowledge in lashing really does come from Lori as well. I've taken several courses, but honestly, I have to say the most that I've learned from lashing is truly from Lori.
She's the expert.
Yeah.
Oh,
It is. Yeah.
so Lori, now let's talk about the technique of lashing. And it isn't easy. And, it's like, oh, girls, kind of think, oh, gee, I can do that, no problem. But what does it take to be a really good lash technician?
Definitely, I would say the patience. I think a lot of individuals, they receive lashes, they love wearing them, and they think it's going to be easy because they think they're just, someone's just picking up a lash and gluing it on, gluing onto their own lashes, and they think it's that simple. However, without the patience and understanding to truly, I always say lash with intention.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's lifestyle, everyone's face, everyone's, lash line is different. And to truly customize a proper set of lashes on someone, it is definitely skill set there. And it's, of course, practice. I know for myself, for the first year I was lashing, I thought, oh my goodness, I don't think I can do this. There was many times that I just wanted to put the tweezers down and give up because every single person is a new, you're starting from zero again. You're starting right
Mm-hmm.
from the beginning. So every single individual is a whole new experience. No
Wow.
cookie cutter, no cookie cutter lab.
All right, so Kim, now, everything I believe needs to be, I guess, properly done. And I know that now you have an academy where you are training actual lash technicians, under your scrutiny. So what are some of the, regulations or code of ethics that Eye Candy truly believes in? And especially now in these days with the pandemic going on, and who knows what's going to happen in the future.
So, Lori and myself, we love to teach our students how to properly create their workspace and, properly disinfect their stations and how to educate their clients in proper
Mm-hmm.
care. Just those kind of details in educating our clients and or not clients, our students, to properly run their either if they're going to open up a salon or work from home. We want to be the place where they can come to and ask the questions that they need, and we kind of offer the guidance, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that everybody can know how to properly conduct their lash business um, from the health authorities standards, right? So that's something we definitely teach our students, and not only our students. We want to build a community in Winnipeg for lash artists. I think it's very important for us to kind of bond together and maybe be known. Like in Winnipeg, the lash artists there, they hold up a standard, so something like that would be great.
And of course, Lori, you agree. And I guess now moving forward, this isn't regulated, and much like hairstyling. So how would you feel if regulations could be in place? There was proper licensing and whatnot.
I mean, it would just bring, of course, first and foremost, the health and safety of our clients and our guests. It has to be at the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
So little things do get missed when things aren't regulated. Someone can learn lash extensions and is very inexperienced still at, being even just at 6 months or even a year. And then they think that they can go and teach as well because it's unregulated, right? But, and then they're just teaching and they have all the good intentions
Mm-hmm.
to pass on their knowledge. However, because they do not have little things like, let's say you're lashing from home, little things like there shouldn't be carpet. It needs to be a floor that you can clean and wipe and mop down. How you do your laundry and just changing over the laundry between every client, just little things like that. Those things matter. It's not just, of course, the eye health, but it's everything around us that can cause just unnecessary accidents or incidents with our clients. But yeah.
Well, hopefully, we could get something in place, but I really do like the conversation of creating a community. And now,
Yeah.
Kim, through all of this, the pandemic, COVID-19, and of course, everything was shut down, and then now, you've reopened. I guess let's talk now about some of the ups and downs that you and Lori have gone through as businesswomen, especially in these times.
So it was really hard, especially with us both having a large team of employees that are under us, and we feel obviously a responsibility to make sure that they have jobs and they can pay their bills and things like that. So it was very difficult for us to have to shut down our doors or close our doors for that 3-month period. Thank goodness for CERB, that the girls were still able to have some sort of an income. It's not their regular income, but it did help them out. Lori and I just really banded together and we focused all that time in educating ourselves, being strategic with our reopening plan, making sure that all the things were in place so that when we did open, we were ready for COVID, and that, clients had all of their consultations and screenings already prepared before even coming in. Temperatures were checked. We were fully stocked on all of our disinfecting materials and equipment. And it definitely was very hard because it cost a lot for PPE at that time, and it still does now.
Oh, yeah.
So that was a challenge for us for sure.
Well, both of you have done an amazing job, and I was just thinking to both of you, not only running businesses. Lori, you own the Lilac Street location, and then Kim is a co-owner at the Portage Avenue Salon. So, plus balancing families and dealing with everything that is fluctuating. And even now, as we're doing this interview, we don't know what's going to happen, correct? So dealing with uncertainty, dealing with family. I'll go to Lori first. What have you learned?
I think what has got me to the place where I am today is honestly resilience. I've, when I started Eye Candy, I was going through a divorce, and I was a single mom. I basically had nothing at the time because I was flying back and forth to Vancouver with both my parents actually being sick with cancer at the time. And, the first year of opening Eye Candy, I lost both my parents within 5 months. I was flying back and forth. Again, I had my daughter, and we were literally sleeping at my girlfriend's home. I had to leave my own home, and we were sleeping on her son's bunk bed. And that was how I dealt with even just having Eye Candy and trying to get it going at that time. So I think from that time in my life, single mom, divorce, losing both parents, I feel like anything that comes my way now, as long as you can be resilient and accept what is happening right now, but understand and truly know and believe that there is the future ahead, right? I think if you can look at it in that sense, that there is always that brighter light. I know it sounds so cliche, but it's you have to believe in that. And resilience is truly a powerful thing. Is when you fall, just get back up. It's okay. It's gonna keep going. Life is gonna keep going.
Oh, wow. Well, right now, then, you're an inspiration to all of the single moms or single parents, regardless, right? And just definitely what you had to overcome. Yes, well, hey, this is a drop in the bucket. No. But I know, Kim, yourself, you've got a few kids there at different ages and managing too.
Yeah, both Lori and I actually each have 3 kids.
Oh,
Um, so it's definitely a handful. Our youngest children are quite close, and they have very similar, very energetic, over the top personalities. So we kind of bond with that, and sometimes it's really nice that we have each other not only as business partners but almost like family. When we get together, we can have our kids, because we do have kids of similar ages, so they kind of can have each other to spend time while Lori and I kind of brainstorm or even just relax and have dinner and stuff like that. So with COVID, the pandemic really was difficult on my children. They didn't have routine, and for them, routine was so important, and it really threw them for a loop. It definitely developed a lot of anxiety. And, I always told my husband that I'd much rather deal with like physical things, like, them falling and having a bruise or something, instead of mental issues. I suffer myself from mental health, and so I know how hard it is to cope with. But between Lori and Lori suffers from it too, and we both kind of come together, and sometimes your husband just doesn't understand like a woman can understand. And that's why I love being able to lean on Lori in that aspect. And so, yeah, it's been really tough, but you know what? Just like Lori said, we persevere and we get up, and I've been through lots of trials and tribulations in my career. I've built a salon from ground up and sold it and was perfectly fine. And then I had another salon that I had to close, and I had to really disappoint a lot of people, and I it was something that I went through. But you know what, after collaborating with Lori and rising up again, it really, you just got to persevere and keep going, right?
yeah.
It builds character.
Well, no doubt. And I mean, now, thank you for sharing your stories because, mental health and wellness is so important. And especially now, more than ever, we need each other. And like you said, Kim, opportunities arise and sometimes they're not the best fit. And some do. And obviously, you found this. And, perhaps you found each other back again, which I think is really good. So I wanted to ask both of you, and it was a thought and a conversation that I had with another friend. We're now obviously in a little bit more of a cultural awareness, and especially for women and women of color. Do you find, ladies, that was there a time where there was, I don't want to say discrimination, but was there ever times where it was a little bit more of a struggle because of being, you know, a person of color? Lori.
For myself, I've personally, I can't recall a time where I felt that myself. However, growing up, with my mom being Filipino, my father was German, my mom Filipino, I would see how people at times when we're out shopping, or if my mom was just speaking because she had an accent, how people would speak to her as if maybe she couldn't hear properly, or just things like things like that, where I thought as a little child, that's strange, the way they're
Mm-hmm.
speaking to my mom. Or so I've seen it and felt it with my mom, not personally myself, growing up, but it's I've been around it. I've personally experienced it for her, from or through her.
Yeah, yeah. And Kim?
Um, I'd say that I've experienced some of it. Opening up my very first salon, I remember thinking like I couldn't hire just all only Asian or Filipino women, and I wanted a lot of diversity. So we weren't classified as like, an only Asian salon, right? And my husband thought it was really funny because he's like, you have a lot of friends that are Asian in the industry, and they're great workers. Like, why wouldn't you,
Right.
just extend? And I said, I really wanted, um, not only to be viewed in that way, right? I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to know that we are multicultural in our space, and everybody is also welcome, and not only the Asian community, right? So that was really difficult. And when COVID did it, and in Winnipeg, it was a Filipina lady that brought the first case into the city. I experienced quite a bit of shaming. Like when I went to the grocery store, or I'd be at the mall, or, I'd clear my throat in a store. It was really hard initially at first, right?
Mm-hmm.
I found though, like people got over that pretty quick. And as far as like business, sometimes people would look at me like I actually had an employee that helped me run my shop quite a bit, and they would look at her and instantly be like, "Oh, are you the owner?" And she's like, "No, actually, I'm an employee. Kim is the owner." But I found that happened to me quite a bit. So, and it happened to me with Glam Bar. Like people just couldn't grab the concept that somebody so young could establish so much. Um, so I did get that quite a bit where people were like, "Oh, you're the owner," like just shocked in that way. And so I did experience quite a bit of that.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's interesting now because we have more of an awareness, especially a heightened awareness now, and especially if you are a person of color, whether you're Asian or Black or Indigenous. So the conversations are always interesting, and I guess maybe that's a good way to kind of wrap things up. Is where both of you, Lori and Kim, want to take Eye Candy Lash Academy. I mean, it's not only lashes, you've got a full line of aesthetics, but I think more importantly, you feel beautiful when you leave. And
Mm-hmm.
is that something that is very important to both of you to instill in women? And not only in women, but of anyone that wants to feel beautiful. Lori.
One thing that I will never forget, this woman who was the director of Scientific Marvel that I had the opportunity to learn from. Lucy Lauren is her name. And I will never forget when she was teaching us the power of just even the power of touch. And it's not about always the exact service that you're doing, whether it's the pedicure, the facial, the eyelashes. It is truly the connection that you build with the individual coming in. You can be an amazing artist, but if there's no connection, if they don't feel a sense of, you know, leading with love and respect during the service or feel special, they may not want to come back. They come back and they become loyal because of that connection you build with them and how you truly make them feel. And not just yourself, but the entire salon as a whole. I always say to my staff too, just because that person may be a client who likes to visit me for services, everybody else in the salon should still acknowledge that customer so that when they're coming through the door, they know that they're just being appreciated for, supporting our business. So it is definitely, it is how you make women feel, and it's the connections that you have with them.
And for yourself, Kim?
I have to agree 100% with Lori on that. I make sure that every guest that comes in feels great, and before they leave, we make them feel comfortable and know, like, if there are any issues, please come back to us. We would gladly, adjust anything that's needed for you. And just really building that relationship with the client. Most of my regulars are not only clients, they're actually friends. And, I know stuff about their lives and their children and their careers, and they ask about mine and Lori's and how we're doing, and we know their children's names. And some of the clients Lori and I have done, we've watched their kids grow up from being tiny little toddlers to graduating this year. And it was difficult watching these beautiful young ladies sprout to these beautiful women and then having to not have a proper graduation, which is a big part in our industry, because grads come to our space, they get their nails done, they get their lashes done, and we get to kind of send them off. And so it was difficult with COVID and not being able to get that. So yeah, but we definitely make sure that every guest is really happy and they leave really feeling great about themselves.
Wow. Well, I can attest to that, yes, you do leave feeling very, very beautiful. I just want to say, thank you so much, Lori and Kim, for taking this time and sharing your stories. I think this is so important. This is why we do this show, so other women can feel emboldened or encouraged to maybe start their own business, but also have the confidence and, as Lori mentioned, resilience to overcome anything. And I think beauty has definitely brought you two together, and you two are very beautiful souls indeed. So thank you so much, Lori and Kim.
Thank you so much for having us.